want to be 100% cool, right? You got a lot to learn. You got a lot to learn. In order to be 100% cool, you have to be the totality of coolness. They say I'm pretty cool. My name used to be Click Cool, my nickname at school. Now, that was because I was a pretty cool dude. But I wasn't 100% cool. I was 99% cool, let's say, to be fair to me and those who registered that value as being legitimate. However, my 1% uncoolery in time, when I was in an explosive rage, I was a dick, I was evil, I was a knob, I was crap, I would sin without knowing the value of God. Not a cool dude. So you see, when you think on the surface that the uber cool dudes of your school are so cool, they probably are, but are they that uber cool forever? You gotta check that. You gotta think about that. You gotta know, you gotta look deep within yourself and say, you know, what is cool anyway? Cool is just a way, it seems, of enjoying life in a chilled way. You know, appreciating the vectors of time under a redolent sky of God, and just looking at stuff and not being a hassle, not being a knob, doing the right thing, going along with the school program or the work program, being affable, being easy to talk to, saying some interesting things at times to give yourself character, not being a fearful retard, not seeking trouble or discord or drama or overt gravitas by which to flummox the minds of the minions. You see, it's a whole matrix and interweb of possibilities within our interconnected minds in truth and reality. This is the complexity of being alive. It's enough to drive anyone barking mad. Be honest with yourselves. Open up and express to the value of the fact that you're probably barking trousers up the Rogers mouth, right? Lunacy is bound to be a logical outcome to a mix in this world of religion, drugs, liberated music and culture and the arts, the history of evil, fascism and Nazism and communism, and the problems of other foreign religions. I mean, it's just all, who would put up with this? Who would put up with this in their right mind? We are born, we are thrust into this universe of reality. As one person on Radio 1 once made the news by saying, philosophically I might add, which was rare for Radio 1, it's like we've all been dropped down chimneys, man, and we have to get on with whoever we meet when we find ourselves at the bottom. And in a sense that's very real and true. It's quite an interesting thought. But then I thought, it's not really that likely, is it? But it is more like we are germinated from the womb of two lovers. And those lovers come together in mad embrace for want of passion, and to make love in the holistic field of seeking and dreaming better things in a union of the door. And they drop a little sprog into the universe, and he or she grows up to be whatever they are. But we have a problem, don't we? So many of us are twats, and just losers or failures or ugly as fuck. No one wants to talk to the ugly people, do they? I'm not being cruel. I'm just stating a fact. It's so sad, right? I weep every time I walk past an ugly person, and I think, what if you were my soul? Well, it doesn't make me feel any better. I weep again. But no, I'm not trying to be flippant about this. I think it's a real problem with society. Aesthetically, including me, I'm sure. We are not the full biscuit of angelic wonder you'd like to believe in a Hollywood fantasy of milky eyed goodness and diaphanous dresses and long silky blouses over model-esque beauties in a series of Xanadu's. Is it? It's more like Larry Bodgers and Ding Dong Rogers down the pub getting Rogers with old Sheila Driscoll, who's put on a bit of weight recently. Right, working down the butcher's. It's sad. And it makes me sad because I know the pain of mingers. Because I was a minger once, I was on medication. I've always been alright, but I was on medication for schizophrenia for 10 years. And they deformed me even more than my quasi-decent features. And I was pretty horrific to look at. I was a weirdo. Plus I was on these mind-expanding fuckeries. And they weren't mind-expanding, they were mind-collapsing fuckeries. Or it made the mind dormant in a chemical form. And that was their method of counteracting schizophrenia, shutting down the mind basically with tranquilizers. It was stronger than a horse tranquilizer, they told me. So no wonder I would go to bed, which I would be scolded by mother for going to bed, for taking the things that she forced me to take. What you're meant to do about that, I don't know. But there we are. I honoured her, as I do honour my parents. I honour my parents. And she made me take the pill, so I honoured her in doing that. They then made me so exhausted I would have to collapse into bed, so I honoured her. No, I didn't honour her yet. I collapsed into bed, and she would come in and bollock me for being knocked out. So I'd honour her again by getting out of bed. I was having a hell of a time. And that was it. That's all it was. One load of bollocks. I've had a shit life. But it hasn't been totally shit. And at least I'm still alive. There's, Paulton's Park. Fucking amazing. Chessington World of Adventures. Alton Towers. I love these things. I love all good groovy things. And my life hasn't been the worst. No way has it been the worst. I doubt it's been the best. I'm no David Beckham. But my God, who would want my life particularly? Not I, said the fly, I suppose. But then you could say, well, why not? Because philosophically or religiously, I am indeed imbued with the power and knowledge of God. And in that, I feel very blessed and rich and rewarded with munificent power without it costing an arm and a leg and for some complicated web of neuroeconomics. Either way, I have what I have, which is not loads, but it's good and it's enough, and I'm quite happy with that. I would like to build and grow more and develop and be able to help others eventually would be good, because then you can build a network, a tribe, a company, a solution for others. I think that's the most noble cause. This is why I like capitalism in a way, because all the companies are basically noble dreams to making the world a better place. I can't think of many companies under capitalism that are not noble dreams in some part to help make the world a better place. Whether you argue whether they do it morally or not is one thing, but you have to remember, whether you're one of those ultra-lefties quibbling over Nestle, which you rightly should do if their ethical practices are that which you state. However, they're making fucking awesome chocolate for everyone, which is an awesome ideology, okay? So the point is that all legal capitalist companies have an awesome ideology, and that's what makes them legal. You can't do that. You can't really have a criminal one. Anyway, I've said too much, and my butterscone years of fighting along. I go on, don't I? I say too much, and I don't say yes enough. Squirreling through interdimensional realms of power. That's been the problem for a while now. seeing deeply into the knowledge and minds of the greats throughout time, from Caesar to Christ, to all of them. There's a lot. And beyond Socrates, I don't really know what to add to the party. My own value, other than be good. But E.T. said that already, didn't he? But being good is its own reward. Because it does bring spiritual treasures, very good spiritual treasures, intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, physically. You know, it's all good to be good. And maybe that's my problem. I've reached out too long for the things of the impossible. But are they impossible? Because I've achieved the impossible on occasion with my couple of miracles that God gave me. And in that, then what is reality? How do you define that scientifically? It's impossible. So we're not, I don't know what to think or say anymore. Because I'm a quasi-logical, reasonable, rational man. But I have awareness of supernatural powers like Jung, Carl Jung, and others before him. Many. And after him. There are many. And we all know there's this cosmic, supernatural aspect to the universe, or the atmosphere under Earth, at least. And maybe that's all the firmament is, it's the reach of the ether, which was a known concept back in the day, but was generally being silenced and ridiculed by modern science. But I think the ether is where God's consciousness and operations dwell at the subliminal level. You could say I'm wrong, but I still won't believe you until you can provide evidence that I'm wrong, given the evidence I've personally had and can't repeat in a lab. But I know what happened to me, you don't. And in that I say, I won't be surprised if the whole kit and caboodle is alive. Everything. I laughed when I read animism in the dictionary when I was a boy. It was basically defined as inanimate objects having a soul or a spirit. And I roared with laughter in my teenage years going, what ignorance. But now I realise it's based on a legitimate need for a word for that sort of thing. Because while it might not be specifically defined or as accurate as that very definition, it is still, nonetheless, a required term in the English lexicon by which to define something of that matter, spiritually. It's like anthropomorphism is another one. The applying of human emotions to animals or artistic renditions of animals, for want of a way of expressing it. The way we cry more over Watership Down or Lassie than we do the wars in the Middle East tells us a lot about where the true nature of humanity's love for each other lies. Like in the little puppies, which is very nice. And so it must rain. Protect the animals, protect all the chicks, protect all the livestock, all of it must be protected. Because it's a beautiful thing to see farmlands working in harmony amongst the sky of the years. But I don't have to tell you that. You know that's the right thing to do. Stewards of the earth. I do very little like a Jedi until I'm required. And then is a quest. But then I've said enough, so thank you for tolerating me. I do apologise if you're bored. I'm quite bored. I just wanted to do something, so I thought I'd talk to the camera and put it on the internet and see what would happen again. So I quite enjoy doing this really. It's not like I've got anything particularly relevant to say. It's just that, why not? You know, I have the facilities. which I worked for long and hard, and I'm prepared to conduct that as an experiment into the infinite chain of human communication. God bless you, merry gentlemen, rendered in the knowledge of this perfect peace. I thank you. War is a dead man's crumb. Let's not go there. Let's find solutions. You've got to be braver to find solutions than you do to run around shooting people, I've come to realise. I'm much braver than pressing a button miles away, launching a massive rocket over innocent people. Fuck that, man. We can't stand that shit. What are we gonna do? We gotta do something. Can't do nothing. Can't do nothing, they say. Well, what are you gonna do? Well, I shall use the force. See? You're fine now. Walk in peace. I have healed you. Not killed you, healed you. There's a big difference between killed and healed. I did not do the former. I have attempted the latter. And now I shall attempt it again just to make sure you're healed. Your mind is exactly as you think it is. Good luck. The world's counting on you.